Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Glad to be here with you. Take a few minutes. My family is actually from the Narragansett tribe in Providence, Rhode Island, south of Providence, Rhode Island, Nipmuc as well. And I'm Professor Whiting. I'm here at Vanderbilt. I've been here for 16 years. I'm in the African American and Diaspora Studies program. My daughter, who's going to read tonight, is actually Nashville's Youth Poet Laureate. 2018, she was actually the Southeast Regional Poet Laureate last year, and this year she's actually the United States Poet Laureate Ambassador. She's 17 years old from Harpeth Hall Girls School, and she's already been accepted to a school in Europe, and she's nervous because we're having this conversation about her in the car today back from school. She said, "Dad, I still have time to make the decision." And I'm looking at, part of my work is to actually go around the country, Oklahoma and other places, to a lot of the Native American reservations and look for many of our gifted children who are being overlooked. While they're still stealing the children and the women, they are ignoring the gifts and talents of so many of our Native American youth. So that's part of my academic mission as well. So I asked my daughter just about a month ago to do a little research and write something. And she has a book that was just published, and she's actually doing a first reading at Third Man Books, you know about Third Man Records. So she's doing that. So she's a very accomplished young lady. She'll never say it about herself, so that's why I'm saying it for her. I'm really trying to make her nervous so that she can read for you. But anyway, so please give a nice welcome. First off, give a thanks for our dancers, our flute players, and stuff like that, because this is something that you all as undergraduates will never see again. You won't hear the stories of it. So it's this group's obligation to bring this to us, to show that Europeans are actually fortunate to still be here in this land. So I think we should also be appreciative of the history and the culture that's put before you today. I'm still searching for part of my roots as well. So please welcome up Haviland Nona Gay Whiting.
Hi, thank you for having me. Yes, so my dad introduced me. Hi, I'm a senior at Harpeth Hall. I'm really grateful to be here and to experience this with you all. And I'm actually in an AP European history class this year. And so she was too, great. And we've just recently touched on the Native American genocide that took place upon the arrival of Europeans to the New World. And I did not appreciate how it was taught. So I'm going to be doing two pieces for you today, one from my book and one that I wrote specifically for this event. And yeah, so thank you for having me. This is called On Immigration. When the body of a little boy washed up on the beach, I was sure the city was burning. A refugee boat capsized in the Mediterranean, killing all of the travelers. The cities are burning. The picture of his body tattooed itself to my eyelids. I see the world on fire now. The word refugee sounds like the roaring sea now. Watch how we see now that the only time brown bodies are on the news is when their breath has been stolen by the sea now. Here, cities do not burn. They have been on fire for years, and the people are bruised, starved, shot, but they are still standing. A city can only be burning if it is disappearing, and in Aleppo, the church is an empty coffin now. It holds no bodies now. God is calling for his children now. Black Jesus is digging through the wreckage for hope now. One day, if the city water washes through and turns the city white, one day, if every body that used to tuck its dreams into bed is burned out, then maybe we will help him look for them. Here, brown bodies are a flare gun on the stillest night. A flare gun is supposed to signify a person in distress, but how can you look at a gun and not panic? How can you look at a black body and not start searching for the Bible in your coat, or a taser, or a paper bag? These cities will not burn. Notice how wherever you go, skin has become a warning sign, a price tag. A brown girl may use the rock of the bow of a ship as a lullaby, may familiarize herself with the men who took her mother. War-torn nations is what we call these places. These places where a body is a broken thing and religion has no place in the alphabet. But the other day in New York, I swear I heard a group of Latina girls were found dead. Isn't it funny how these things only happen in war-torn nations now? How gunfire can replace drums now. We are building walls now so we can't see the suffocation on the other side. There are broken families on the other side. We are so scared of the other side. We will bomb the other side. Leave the city burning to escape the broken English on the other side. Isn't it funny how a tongue not used to speaking a language is more dangerous than a body laying still on the beach? The girl in my first period English class says immigrant like a dirty word. I want to tell her that immigration is the way the world breathes. Whether you speak to a brown person with a mouthful of guns or a mouthful of fences, remember, a city may burn itself to the ground. The hospital may stink of forgetting, the sky a fireworks show for corpses. But people are the mortar and the foundation. Long after the bombings, the bricks will still stand. Puerto Rico, Aleppo, New York City, burning. What do you remember about the earth when there is only water? Forgetting is so easy when home is a dangling appendage. Where did you come from? Will you go back? I want to begin. What is it like to begin? Thank you. So, yes, this next poem I wrote actually for this event, and I'm praying that my phone doesn't die in the middle. It's on 1%. Okay. Page 467 of my AP European history textbook boasts of manifest destiny and horizon that reaches out, wingtip and sprawling. Call it Western exceptionalism, call it endless expansion, call it everything except what it is. There is skin lining the coffins that line the ocean floor. My body treads water filled with corpses, a swimming pool of last breaths. A woman carries a baby. Sometimes it is hard to tell who is carrying who when her spine is held up with sticks and branches and leaves. I'm searching for the words today to prove to someone who has never read page 467 and felt their hands go numb. I'm trying to explain loss to the people who carry women away like we carry babies. I'm trying to explain to my professor and classmates the definition of rape and kidnapping. Call it cultural appropriation, call it colonialism, call it imperialism. Native people grouped together as if tribal names have no place in the English language. You, women of this land, gave birth to the infant that is trying to kill you. It has climbed up your throat, snatched the words out of thin air. It has rewritten your history and fed you sullied water to keep you bleeding. The backs of women, the spines of books, carry stories too heavy for a girl that young. Every 10 minutes, a child is taken from her land, carried away, forced to walk, tears trailing, America forgets her name. Words fail a loss this deep. There's no salvation for the manifest, no God for the imperialist. The hunter soon becomes prey. We pray, become prey. We choke down mercury. God, rest the hungry souls, the weary women, the bones underneath the shopping center. God, rest the nameless, the cursed, an allusion to the women who dance on land, dying to kill them. Thank you.